can't believe this guy just lets his dog. He leaves his dog outside all night.
Oh my god. These are mad cute, Dad.
Hi everyone. Hope y'all are doing great. Hi buddy. So we had a situation arise here, and it's very common. It happens to everyone at some point or another. You get a bad neighbor when you're camped out here. Now, I'm not going to point out exactly who it was in this area, but it's just the luck of the draw. So we had a gentleman that came down here and set up his camp, and he had started up here on the upper level. You know, the road, the paved road is up there, and then there's a flat area along the side of it, and then it kind of drops down. We're about, it's maybe 15 feet. We're down about 15 feet from that level. So he was parked right up here. I didn't see when he pulled in, but he was there. He pulled in sometime in the afternoon, and when I came out, I was watching a football game. When I came out, I heard a dog barking pretty regularly, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. And then I came outside, saw his rig up there, and the dog that was barking, it barked for quite a while. It was, an hour and a half it barked. And then the gentleman came back. He was out on his motorcycle, and he came back. And when he came back, he was riding around down in our area here. He was scouting for a better camp spot. We all do that, right? So he was putting around down here, and he found a spot that he liked better. And it just happened to be my second closest neighbor. My closest is my friend Chris right here. And then the second closest, and again, I'm not going to point out exactly who it is because that's neither here nor there. So he moved down here and went out on his motorcycle. And he was gone for, a few hours. And the dog was outside, and it barked pretty much the entire time he was gone. 75% of the time the dog was barking. It would take little breaks, and then it would start up again. And it was whining, crying, barking. And then the guy came back. He took the dog for an afternoon walk, which was great. And then he went inside for the night. And fired up his generator. Not a big deal. He ran that till about 7:30, 8 o'clock on the highest setting of 11 that his generator has, I'm sure. Then I'm hearing the dog barking, and it's dark out, and I hear the dog barking. So I come outside because I wanted to see if he had left camp and had left the dog out again. So I shined my light over there, and both his truck and his motorcycle were there, and the dog was outside. And when I shined my light over there, I don't know if he came out and got the dog, because then it quieted down for like an hour. And I went to sleep. And then the dog barking woke me up 10, 15 or something like that. Went back to sleep. The dog woke me up again just after midnight. Went back to sleep. And I got up early. I don't know. I was awake at like 4 a.m. And the dog was barking and howling because there were coyotes howling, and the dog was howling with the coyotes. So the dog spent the night outside. Nope. I can't believe this guy just lets his dog. He leaves his dog outside all night. Stop. You're not starting, buddy. This dog has been barking woke me up at midnight barking. It's been barking since 6 a.m. It's about 7 o'clock now. And this guy just doesn't seem to care. Am I wrong about this barking dog? I'm looking over here. It's 7:30 a.m. now. And the dog it's outside. So it's, from what I can see, it's a 24-hour outside dog. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the dog he's barking. And he was just laying down a minute ago. He's just laying on the ground. I mean, it's cold out. It's it's in the 40s. It's not warm out. And it's been down in the low 30s some nights already here. So the dog he's continuing to bark. There's two sides of me. I feel bad for the dog because I don't know the guy's relationship with the dog at all. I just, immediately feel bad for the dog spending all night outside. I don't know what its link-up system is, its chain and all that. Like when the guy was off on his motorcycle yesterday, the dog was, like, at most, it looked like it had about a 5-foot, leash. So I don't know if it was tangled up on something. I don't know how long his leash is. It's basically sitting right outside the door to the camper. He's sitting down now. And it's a good-sized dog. It looks like a German Shepherd from here. So I feel bad for the dog. But again, I don't know the dog situation. I just don't know how a person can, assuming the guy's there, his truck's there, his motorcycle's there, how he can just stay inside that camper and not respond to his dog being out there barking in the middle of the night, in the early AM. I just, and again, unless the guy is hearing impaired, like can't hear at all and isn't even hearing the dog bark, that's the only excuse. I just don't know of a person, I've never come across a person that will, for that long, just let a dog bark and do nothing about it. Even the biggest pricks that I've met out on the road do rein in their dogs at some point. I haven't seen this guy do that yet at all. We've experienced a lot of things out on the road, a lot of people, a lot of different situations. This is just an outlier. I've never had this happen before where I've never had somebody that left their dog out overnight. That's new. That's a first. And I've never had someone with a dog that's that loud and barking that didn't do anything about it. I've never seen the guy come out once to quiet the dog, to bring the dog inside. Not once. I've never experienced that before. I know some of you have experienced some stuff. Tell us about it down in the comments. What did you go through with an unkind dog owner? Stop. So I get up finally in the morning, we go out for our walk, and it turns out that some of my friends that are around here were kept up all night because of the barking. We have pretty decent sound insulation in the rig, but other people in different rigs don't. And one of my friends especially was pretty ticked off. He said he hadn't slept, his eyes were all bloodshot, didn't look good, sleepless night for him. And I was woken up a couple times, but I was able to get back to sleep. You saw in the Christmas video the hellos from my friend Jeff that I just mentioned. He was one of them, Jeff and Laverne. And then my friend David that had the E450 box truck with the American flag. And then my friend Mike and his dog Levi. My other friend Mike over by his gray ambulance, and my friend Pam on her blue and white ambulance. You all know Pam. So those are all the folks. And my friend Chris. Oh, and my other friend Jim that was in front of his rig with his poodle Cricket those are all the folks that said hi in the Christmas video. My friend Chris is camera shy, so he's the one over here with the giant American flag, which, by the way, is now 45 feet high. He convinced himself that the 30-footer was not tall enough, so we replaced it. He got a 45-footer that we erected recently with a larger flag, and I'll tell you what, it's the biggest flag on the horizon out here. But don't let him hear me say that, because I keep telling him, like, oh, that guy's is bigger and that guy's is bigger. So like I mentioned in the clips, the guy just had that dog that was barking. And so it really affected me kind of peripherally, because I woke up twice, 10:30 at night and then again at 12:15 at night, and the dog was out there barking. And it was only when the next morning, my friend Mike, who's a little bit farther than I am, he's in a teardrop camper, and he said he was up all night, that he didn't get any sleep because of that dog barking. So I think just from the insulation in my rig, it didn't hit me because I'm actually closer. I could hear it, but I was able to go back to sleep both times. But Mike had been up all night, and when he came to talk to me, he's like, bloodshot eyes. Y'all know how that is when you can't sleep. And he was livid, because of what happened. We talked with other people, and everybody kind of heard the dog. I think Mike was affected most just because of his proximity. Mike got us all together that afternoon, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us went over there. And I went up and, first I called out to him. The dog wasn't there when we walked up, and we came to realize that the guy was not there. He was out walking the dog. So we had knocked a few times and he didn't answer. So we were just kind of standing there chatting, and here he came walking back to his camp, and he could see us. So he was like walking rapidly, because we were not right at his trailer, but kind of close to it. So he came back and we talked to him, for 15 minutes. We told him that the dog had really bothered some of us the night before from the barking. And so I had some video clips on my phone that I had shot of the dog barking at different times. So I showed him that, and I showed him another clip that was at like 6:30 in the morning, kind of just as the sky was starting to lighten up, so that I could get the dog on camera, and he was out there barking. So at first he wasn't standoffish at all. He just said he didn't understand, because he only heard the dog bark like a couple of times for a few minutes. I know that I heard the dog much more than that, and Mike definitely heard the dog much more than that. And then he said that he had the dog inside with him all night. And so as we talked to him, we're like, no, you didn't. We saw the dog out there, heard the dog. I shot my flashlight over there. Twice I went out because the dog was barking, and I wanted to see where it was coming from. And I saw the dog over there. And so I think maybe he slept through it, because if it was loud to us this far away, it sure as heck was loud to him with the dog right outside his camper door. So maybe he's a really sound sleeper. I couldn't have sat and listened to my dog bark that much during the night when I'm trying to sleep. I wouldn't have been able to sleep. So he probably is a really sound sleeper, and maybe only stirred a couple of times that he heard it barking. He was confused about it from what he was saying, but the dog was definitely outside. The dog was definitely barking. So as we talked to him, we come to find out that he's just had the dog about a month, that it came from someone who had to go into a nursing home. So he took the dog. He wasn't going to keep it at first, but now he's decided to keep it. And that he said he was kind of afraid to keep the dog, to let the dog be inside the trailer, like when he leaves the camp, because he doesn't know what the dog is going to do. So I think that for him, dog ownership was nothing more than just the dog is leashed up outside with a bowl of water. He agreed that he would keep the dog inside, and he did. So that next night, not a sound, obviously. He had the dog inside. There was no barking. Mike slept really well, he said. Got caught up on his sleep. So when we went over to talk to this guy, we weren't aggressive at all. You know, we weren't trying to create any kind of scene. It was just to kind of figure out what was going on and offer some advice. You know, we did tell him too that leaving a dog outside all night here is dangerous for the dog. The coyotes out here, I mean, this dog is not a small dog. It's Rottweiler mix with Shepherd or something maybe. So it's, you know, it's an okay sized dog. I would say it probably weighs 50 pounds. There's the puppy. It's a really sweet dog. I don't know if he has anything for it to lay on. I can't tell from there. But really sweet dog. And so in the meantime, now in the interim since then, you know, some of the guys have gone and walked with him and his dog. So he's, you know, become a friend of us here. And he said anytime, like if we want to stop by there and pet the dog, if he's gone somewhere, and, you know, because the dog is really nice, he'll let you walk right up there and mess with him. It came out, you know, good in that he's able to keep us all comfortable, and now he feels more comfortable being here because, you know, we're all treating him like a friend. So when it comes to bad neighbors, I'll tell you a good story that happened here last year. So right up here above Lefty, you can see that this ground kind of rises up, and then this is the level of the road, the paved road that's up there. And so people park up on that level up there and they camp. You know, obviously there's campers up there right now. So there's one right there, and then down this way there's a whole bunch of folks that are up there. But last year, straight up here, right up above us. So last year, right up above us there were a small group, just two rigs that came. It was a Class C, it was a Class A and a Class C. And behind the Class C, they had a pretty long enclosed utility trailer, you know, cargo trailer. And they had, what did they have? Side-by-side, I think. Yeah, a couple of side-by-sides. And so they parked. The Class A was perpendicular to us, and the Class C was parallel to us, and the trailer, the utility trailer, was parallel to us. And the side of that cargo trailer had two big doors that opened that faced this direction. They opened those two doors, and inside they had one of those big generators. I call them the sportsman type, that, you know, with they're the big ones that have the metal piping as a frame, and they're not made to be quiet at all. They're not like the small ones like I have that are made for campgrounds and to be really quiet. These are just like construction zone generators that make, you know, all the noise that an engine that size can make. So they had one of those in the trailer, and they spent a week here running that generator in the trailer. They never took it outside. So they would open those doors and they would run that generator, and having to do with harmonics and acoustics and all that, because they had that thing parallel to us with those doors basically right up above us, and they're up about 12 to 15 feet from us. The sound from that generator just careened out over this area like you would not believe. And it got the loudest right here at our camp because we were right in line with it. So it must not have been loud up there for them, because they would run it all day, 6, 7, 8 hours straight. They would run that dang generator. And so we would be out walking, Lefty and I, you know, way out back in the wash, and we could hear that generator. And as we would be walking this way and we would get in line with our camp, wow, and we're way out there, you could hear that generator screaming. And they played music pretty loud. So it wasn't bad at first. They would run it for a little bit and then they'd shut it off. And then they just got to where they were just running it like all day. I remember it was the last time they ran it all day. it was running and they had music playing and they were just, it was like two couples, man, woman, and they were just loud, they were just loud. That one day they were running that dang thing. I'll bet you it ran for 10 hours straight. And when they shut it off, it was when they shut it off. And we're all sitting down here and Chris goes, yeah, finally, like that. And you could hear the guy saying something back, And I'm clapping and the guy said something back. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was some F-bombs that got flown around. I'll tell you though, I don't remember it ever being a problem after that. They didn't run it for 10 hours straight. They may have even shut the side doors on it. I can't remember, but that was like the end of the problem. And so that's another way that you can handle noisy neighbor, right? Not as tactful as going up to talk with somebody. And if we had gone to talk to them after the first day of them running the thing all day and explaining to them how it's really loud, are there doors on the other side of the trailer and point the sound the other way, or point the sound, out to the road where there's not somebody directly camped right underneath them? Maybe we would have had a better outcome, probably would have had a better outcome, hopefully. I'm just glad that we were able to talk to this gentleman over here, get to know what his situation was. I don't think that he did any of it maliciously. He just, not knowing what to do with the dog, and figured he'd just leave the dog outside all night and maybe slept through the barking so he didn't think it was bothering anybody. Because again, I just can't imagine that he was in there hearing all of that barking and just being okay with it. And so I think he just slept through it and didn't realize how bad it really was. But that got resolved, and now he's known to all of us, and the dog doesn't do the barking like it used to, because I think maybe it feels more comfortable now around here because it's met a lot of us. I pet the dog. It's a really sweet dog again. So I think the dog is more comfortable now because it doesn't bark all day. Like the first couple of days, oh my gosh, it was just incessant. Like that poor dog, he was half crying and barking. And then that night he was actually howling. I think he was out there barking and then going into a howl. I don't know if the coyotes were howling and he was doing it with them, but the poor dog out here in the desert, and it's dark out here. If you've never been out in an area like this in the middle of the night where there's no moon, holy smokes. I mean, you can barely see your hand in front of your face. It gets so dark out here. Well, I hope you all have a great New Year. Thanks for all the Christmas wishes. I really appreciate that. Again, we just had a quiet day here. Got to chat with my daughter.
Let's go!
I hope it fits good.
So cute!
It's the smallest one they have.
Oh my goodness!
It's reversible.
It's reversible! Shut up.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Right? Yes.
Yes! It's so cute! I love it. Oh my gosh. These are mad cute, Dad.
Yes.
What?
Do they match the jacket?
They do match the jacket.
So.
Oh my god. Good job. What?
Okay, let me make sure we thank these folks. I want to thank some people that sent us cards and such. Mobile Tech, I don't know if I thanked you for sending Lefty that item, but thank you very much for that. Carrie and Bo, thank you for the postcard. Cora and Gift, thank you for stopping by for the card. I appreciate that. I've got to thank Bill, Liz, Katie, Twigs, Roxy, and Enu for the card they sent that has a great little ambulance graphic in it there. Thank you for that and for the gift. And special thanks to Leanne, who sent us some holiday gifts. She sent me some Lefty treat fun so that I could spoil this guy with his treat. So thank you for that, Leanne. We both very much appreciate it. I hope y'all's holidays are going great. Thank you all for being here. Have a great new year. Everyone take care, be safe. We'll see y'all again really soon. Won't we? Oh, puppy. Oh, he's ready to crash. I gave him a little extra hamburger in his breakfast this morning because he had a spirited play session. So I wanted to make sure he's refurbished, or repoed, as my daughter would say.